Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have the cue, and I think the only way I can get rid of it is by playing cat. Wow, grim rack leave. But I don't think retaining the cue can be better than playing it. I'm going with this. Well, still pretty grim, but Fudgy would certainly sort the rack out in one go. Doesn't play at the moment. But it does, row G, because of far and ut. Will that remain available? And what if it's blocked? Wow, it does remain available because of fag and uta. Fantastic. Does it play anywhere else? I don't think so, and nothing otherwise comes to mind. 25. Oh wow, I was hoping my rack would sort itself out, and that really hasn't happened. Again, a solitary vowel. What to do here? I have scoring tiles, but scoring tiles generally benefit from vowels. There's only one on my rack and there are no floaters. I do have merry in column 12, which turns over 4 tiles, and I'm looking to turn over tiles with a view to drawing a vowel. Uta only takes an S, and a K and an O in front. Fag takes nothing. YE is good, but I don't have anything sensible which extends to the triple word square. I think ers is all I have in that spot. I'm not seeing anywhere great for the Z. Now, a ladder may develop towards the bottom left because chin is good. If I do have the opportunity to play the S, I could play mercs. And this is one of those situations where playing the S not in a bingo may be the right thing to do. Wow, just 8 points for opponent, slightly ominous. Probably hanging on to a powerhouse. So, merry has been blocked, but do I have anything else ending EMY? Or beginning MY? Well, I don't think I do. Nothing which gets the Z tripled. So, all in all, this is pretty hopeless. But is it bad enough to change? I do have mercs in column 10, but that just doesn't feel right. I'm just struggling to see any way of playing off any number of tiles. Maybe I should change. What do I have in column 12? It doesn't have to end EMY, it could end ERY. Or just E. Mercy has been blocked. What about rhymer? That's not good. I could play ERM. 12 points. That may be better than changing. I'm stopping opponent from playing in that spot. Do I have anything beginning SE? I don't think so. I am going with... Am I? No, I'm not. I am changing. And I'm going to keep CERS, the most bingo-y tiles. Well, I do now have a bingo. I have Couriers and Arothes. Not sure if either plays. And Corsa. Again, I don't think any of those play. Well, this is certainly a much more balanced rack. So, do I have anything through the T? I have reactors. Fantastic. That may be blocked, but right now I have a bingo, and its anagram is acrotas. Wow, and I actually lead. Do I have anything through the Y? Not that I can see. Okay, so I think opponents blocked everything. Everything simply being the bingos through the T. Do I have anything through TI? Wow, that looks a pretty promising set of 9 tiles. What would it end? ES or ER? So an anagram of caroties or carotees. Not seeing anything. Okay, so am I sure none of my bingos plays? So there was Arothes, Corsa, and Couriers. No, absolutely none of them play. Well, what a shame. But I do have options. I can play Rock down here for 17, leaving a pretty good rack leave and giving very little away. I am going with this. Well, I don't think I do have a bingo with this rack. Through a D, I would have all weeds. But I do have the W for score. And right now, I have a lead. Now, what about a play in column 10, ending OWD or EWD? Gosh, I don't think I have one. That's a shame. That would be a 30-point play at least. And more, because I could stick the S on the end of cat. And opponent changes. So am I absolutely sure I've got no EWD or OWD words? I don't think I do. Still no N for chin. I do have an O for outer, but that's not much use. Wow, tricky. Just wondering about playing in row J. But if I burn the S, which I would be minded to for the score from the queue, I'm going to leave a vowel-heavy rack, which isn't good. So, how about playing woe? Just wondering about putting a different tile on this triple letter square. O could go on that spot, so EOD words. No, not seeing anything. So woe keeps the board tight. Score is dismal. Pretty good rack leave, and I'm taking out row B as a bingo lane. Rock has a C front hook. I'm going with this. Well, another rack which looks close to a bingo, but I'm not seeing one, and I have a solitary scoring tile. And still a lead, so a very slow start or low scoring start to the game. $27 for opponent. Akin takes an L and a T in front. I've got an L. But what about playing in row K? And what about a bingo through the A? Or even a 7-letter play. Any bingo would now play because of the front hook for Akin. But I'm not seeing a 7. I'm not seeing anything through the A. So what do I have in row K? Only a D goes after GI of my consonants. apart from the S. And I would be looking to play the V. Well, I don't think I can do that. So I could play Veld. Takes a T and an S, pretty decent rack leave. Tempting opponent to play in row H, but he won't score much because a high-scoring tile can't go on the double letter square. 18 points, pretty grim. But I do have to play the V. What about playing through the A? Is there a way of hanging on to the E? How am I doing for time? Still 12 minutes on my clock, but a lot of tiles to come. So that's 18. Lava would only be 14. I am going with this. Well, not so great. Starting to be vowel heavy. But I would have a play in row H. If opponent doesn't go there, I would have. I have no T for Velt. Do I have something in row K? I should be able to leave a pretty good rack leave. I just need to play off H and A, and that would leave raise. Slightly vowel heavy, but a very good 5-letter set nonetheless. What about a play down from the K? Not seeing anything. Great, just 27 points for opponent. He provides more floaters. The R doesn't give me a bingo. What about the N? Likewise. So where can I score well with my H? Well, I could play AH in column 9. £17 points, that's not bad. Very good rack leave. Doesn't go great on this board because I'm duplicating the R, but it's not terrible. I'm not gifting anything for opponent. I am going with this. Great, we're back. I lost my internet connection. And I was playing R. Well, I have R Marias through the R. Will that stay available? And I'm not seeing a 7 here. AH does take an R and an A in front, so I've created a lane in row B, but that was on purpose since my rack lead was so good. I don't think there's a 7 with this rack. Are there any other floaters to consider? Well, there's the N. Not seeing anything onto that, although I would have the man and the men ending. Now what AH has done is created a hotspot in column 8. Not a huge one, but it may be tempting for opponent. And anything which leaves this R alone would be good. Now floating E as well, but I'm not sure that's particularly helpful with this rack since I already have 4 vowels. And I guess the D is available as a floater for quite a lot of overlaps. And that's about it for floaters. Great, opponent has been attracted to the top of the board. And I have Armorias for 61. Well, not a bingo-y rack, but it's 7 random tiles, and I have a good scoring tile in the X. And I have a 40-point lead. Will that stay? I'm looking for places where I can play my X. Nothing jumps to mind. Tox is not good. Nothing through JO. Well, I guess column 2, I could play Lex, but that does have a number of front hooks, so I'd like to find something different or better. I have Kex, that certainly is better, although it's placing the X next to a double word square. I had a choice of where to play Armour Ears, and I chose to play it in this spot to provide fewer floaters down the bottom, or no floaters down the bottom, rather. Great, my Kex spot remains available. And opponent's swamped with vowels, or plays a lot of vowels, so could be vowel dry later in the game. I'm just looking to see if he's provided anything. Well, there's Lux for 26. That's only 28. Yeah, and I think Lux might be better if there's a vowel shortage. Let me check the remaining vowels. 16 out of 42, so yes, there is a vowel shortage. 8 minutes on my clock, 35 tiles to come. Can I do any better than Lux? Well, I was thinking about Lex here, but that's only 29 and it has an I front hook amongst others. So, what else to consider? Well, Mux rather than Lux, I guess. Yeah, I am going with this for 28. And I have Nettled. Is there anywhere for that? Look at that, I have a T for Velt, but Armour Ears has blocked me playing that. Geiger only takes an S, as does Utah and Chin, but still 3 S's to come. Etic may take an S if it, well, whether or not it does, it doesn't take anything else. And Joe takes an S, so a very S-friendly board. But not a friendly board for my bingo. Just checking that it doesn't play in column 2, and it doesn't. Will opponent provide an opening for Nettled? Through an E, I would have Telnetted. And only 1 and 2 point tiles, so no scoring tiles, and my lead less than 50 points. And remaining tiles pretty bingo-y. So what if opponent doesn't create anywhere for my bingo? And he doesn't. But great, only 18 points. That's pretty good. So what I could do is play Teld for 19 points, keeping a decent rack leave. And there are 5 great tiles to aim for, which are the S's and the blanks, both of which go extremely well with my rack leave. And Teld is not offering very much. So I am going with this. And I dodge all of the nice tiles. Through an E, I would have Venenate. Through an R, I would have Revenant. R of Rube not available for that particular play. But I do have a scoring tile in the V, and I have a slender lead. Then not good. Velt takes an S. And I'm looking for spots where I can offload the V and sort out the duplicates. Rube has taken out row B as a bingo lane for putting an S on Joe, or made it harder. Limited places to play on this board. And opponents, he's not providing openings, which I guess is good play, but it makes it quite hard. I don't want to play in column 14, that would provide access to column 15. UH takes nothing. Abo still good because ISC plays with CSW19 word list, and it's only been taken out of the updated CSW21 word list, which was imposed on Scrabble players against their will or against their preference. So, what am I going to do? And I'm short on time, only 6 minutes left. I feel like I should be playing rather than changing. I don't have to play the V, but I'd like to. Just looking to see if I've got to play through E, A, and E. Well, I have Vina through 2 of those, only 9 points, but the rack leaves pretty good. I'm struggling to find positive things to say about this move. I just haven't seen other better plays. I am going with this. And I draw vowels. Okay. So, what am I going to do? Only 1 point tiles. And no floaters. So I'm quite vulnerable now. My lead only 31 points. There may be some 8-letter bingos with these tiles, but it would be a 5 vowel 8. It must mean that the remaining unseen tiles are very vowel dry. Let me check. 9 out of 28. So yes. Is there any way I can generate some form of score with this rack? No vowels, go between K and L, which is a shame. I could play OE, top left, but again, that's going to be a score fewer than 10 points, inviting trouble. And with 2 blanks to come, surely opponents on the brink of bingoing. Just 6 minutes on my clock and 10 on opponents. I'm sure there were better alternatives to Vina, but I was mindful of the time and nothing had come to mind. And nothing's come to mind with this rack either. So, just the 1S on the board at the moment, which was mine, and opponent plays both blanks. Brutal. Brutal. And a ton of vowels. So just 7 vowels out of 21 now. Opponent takes the lead, but only by 28 points. Outlier takes an S. I think I need to open the board up. So what about playing toe for 9? Wow. The trouble with this is that I really need an S for chins, utas, etics. And the E isn't particularly helpful with this rack leave, and I'm only getting 9 points, but the last of those points is pretty small because it is achieving a new lane. Can I do that in a better way? No, and I am going with this. Wow, brutal. Brutal. Both V's and both W's drip fed one at a time. 42 points for opponent. I'm only a bingo behind, but I am not feeling in good shape. Now, do I really not have anything with this rack? 4 minutes on my clock. I don't think I do. How can I keep the board open without gifting an easy scoring spot? I could play NAW, but that just guarantees opponent a 40-point play in column 15. 8 tiles left. Do I have a 5-letter play ending in W? Wow, I don't think I do. Well, what about playing Nor in this spot? Just for score. I don't want opponent to outrun me, and he's in danger of doing that since he has a 70-point lead, 60-point lead. Nor for 28. Decent score, decent rack leave. I am going with this. Well, I draw scoring tiles, and I don't have a bingo. So this has been a pretty rough game. I trail by 33, but opponent's on turn. I have B-fit in row, well, I don't, NI, not good. Only 5 tiles in the bag, so my bingo prospects are dwindling. And I have no S, whereby I can set up a lane. So what can I do here? I guess it partly depends how many tiles opponent leaves in the bag. B and F lack synergy, so not many bingos are going to include B for those, and none that I can see on this board. My F can go underneath the I, but I think the best I can see there is oaf, but that might be a good play. How many tiles is opponent going to leave in the bag? If he plays in row O, a 4-letter play, then there'll just be the 1 in the bag. He empties the bag. Wow. And that's a good play. He's now 170 points in the lead. So I'm not going to catch him even if I do bingo. 3 minutes on my clock. Bag is empty. If I play oaf, do I have an out? I don't think I do. Opponent's not going to go out in 1, so can I create an out in 2? Probably. And I'm looking at the E of Zaps. 3 minutes on my clock. Well, I thought I may have benefit, but I don't. No S for Velts. Well, I don't think I can play the B and the F. Well, what about through this R? Nothing to go in front of P, that's a shame. So, what I do have is binate for 16. And then I have FE in row N and FE and ZE, which is a plan. I am going with this. So, opponent's not going to go out in 1. Binate doesn't take an S. So I will be ending the game. Now, beginning of the month, so brand new video up on Patreon for all supporters of the channel via Patreon. Thank you very much indeed for your support, and if you're interested in supporting the channel, then the link is in the description below this video. It's as little as $1 a month, and for that you get the opportunity to be my opponent on the regular channel, plus there's a whole catalogue of 5-minute games, and a new one goes up every month. So if that's interesting to you, do please consider it, and the channel depends on the support of the patrons. So thanks once again to those who support the channel by that means. 2 minutes on my clock. I must say that the very latest 5-minute game that's gone up is super exciting and features something very, very unusual, which hasn't happened in any of the previous games. So something to look forward to there. So I have FE. Is this best? 27. Phi and Z. 20. So I think this is best. Ah, well, what about Phi at the top? I think that's more. 23, that is more. Any more for any more? No, I think that's it. And the final score, 312 for me, 366 for my opponent, a winning margin of 54 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. And what a low-scoring game. Neither of us over 400 points. It was me to go first, and I play cat, and that looks fine. Opponent plays Geiger, and I have Fudgy. So everything fairly routine so far. Wow, missed bingo. Grottier through the G, slightly hard to see, and opponent plays tug. My rack ZE, D12. ZE and TE keeping 5 consonants. I'm not a fan of that. Actually, Mike, not bad for 17. What do? I change. Yeah, I think changing has merit. Now, opponent's rack, pretty good, but no bingo. A ton of 7s, 5 7s, but nowhere for them. And I'm in a similar position here with a ton of bingos, or 3, and nowhere to play. So I play rock for 17, and these bigger plays burn the S. So back to opponent, who changes. Let's just have a look at that. Yeah, a reasonable play. My rack. Oh wow, Wheats does play. Where's the D? Oh wow, having mentioned that Wheats would be available through a D, Etic, Eon, and Cats. Wow, what a miss. Okay, well, no room for feeling sorry for myself in this game when such a fantastic bingo was overlooked. Gosh, that is painful. So instead I play Woe for 12. I considered all weeds and I'd considered all these hooks and I didn't put the two together. Now, opponent's rack plays Akin. Wow, lads, K4, that's a big score. I think I was too focused on burning the V because 42 is a lot more than 18. Opponent's rack plays Raven. No bingo here, but K3, another big 40-point play. Off the cue, what do? I play R for 17, but I'm keeping a very good rack leave, so I think those moves probably fairly close. Horrible rack for opponent, plays Joe. And now I have Armorias in 2 spots, and I think this is the better of them. Opponent plays Louis. And D1. Axemen, that's nice for 34. And I play Mux for 28, which is fairly similar. Opponent's rack plays Rube. And now Nettled, but nowhere to play it. And I play Telled for 19, which looks fine. Nice rack for opponent. And a missed bingo, Euroliths through the R. Wow, tricky to see, making Sujo. But it was there. Opponent plays HO. A14, even. Well, sticking an E in the middle of row A. I'm not a fan of that. So I play Vina for 9, far fewer points. But with a better rack leave, so I think my play is fine. Great rack for opponent, does now have a bingo. I'm unable to come back with a bingo. 14 tiles in the bag. What do? I play Toe for 9, which I think is fine. Opponent plays Zeps for 42, and at this point, opponent's got a 61-point lead, so it's not completely over, but it's close. So I play Nor. I want to keep a good rack leave to maximise my chances of bingoing, which is what Nor does. It's 28 points, only 31 for the highest scoring play. Nice rack for opponent. He's got periods, nowhere for that. Plays Dopers. And finally, G14. Ah, well, that's Binate parallel to Zeps. So I'm playing here for a lot less to guarantee an out in 2. Fitna F14. Yeah, it's possible that some of these column 14 plays may be optimal depending on what opponent can do with his rack. But I was short on time. Let's see what opponent could have done here. Well, no out. He plays Icy for 24, and finally Fee, N10 for 27. Oh, wow. I think I must have miscounted that. I thought Fee top right was scoring more, but it didn't. And that was the end of the game. So, what a game. And in hindsight, I feel that that game turned on the miss of Always, which would have been a 90-point fantastic play in the early stages of the game, but I didn't spot it. And opponent went on to establish a lead and have some good tiles moving into the end of the game. And having missed that opportunity of a bingo, I never had a bingo-y rack beyond there apart from the Armeria's one, which I got down. So, very interesting game. Many congratulations to my opponent on his victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.